वेदविनाशिनं नित्यं य एनम् अजमव्ययम् कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ kam ghatayati hantikam. So today we shall be discussing Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 and shlok number is 21. As you know, Sri Krishna is explaining the science of soul. Soul and body, there are these two things of which we consider ourselves as body, but in actuality, in truth, we are not bodies, we are soul. Soul is an entity which is indestructible, which is eternal, and which is conscious. Body is an entity which seems conscious, but it is always changing and it is temporary. Because we live a life considering ourselves as body, we are miserable. But when we listen to Krishna and understand the concept of soul and understand our real identity and live a life based on the principle of soul, we are blissful and we make our life successful and perfect. So this is the one of the key secrets of Bhagavad Gita, that consider yourself as soul and not body. So in today's verse, Krishna is saying, O Parth, O Arjun, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? So a person who understands that, he can never kill anyone. So this is a great thing. Even though Krishna is standing with Arjun in the mid of a battle, and they are about to fight a great battle, and where thousands and hundreds and thousands people are going to die. But Krishna is saying, no, they are not going to die. They are just going to change their bodies. Because to them we cannot touch. And in this progressive dialogue, Krishna reveals that he is God. And all living beings are his parts. Mame vansho jeev loke jeev bhuta sanatana. All living beings are my part and parcel. Just not animal. Just not human beings. Also the animals and plants and reptiles and everything. They all are my part and parcel. So this is Aryan or great civilization. Civilized people consider all beings as one. So, of course, it is true that sometimes a king has to do violence against a criminal, but that is needed sometimes. Non-violence is, of course, a better solution, but not all the time non-violence can be accepted. Sometimes violence is needed. You see, there are two way of living life, or we can say two different dharma. One is dharma for the soul and one is dharma for the body. The dharma for body and mind is known as Varna Ashram Dharma. What is it? Human life is divided into four parts and there are four different kind of works. One is teaching class, Brahmanical class, whose task is to teach and whose task is to realize the supreme truth, God, and teach that science to the other people. Such Brahmanical class of people live a very simple life, almost a life of a pauper. They always sustain by receiving alms from other people. Self-poverty is accepted by them, and they are always truthful, clean, pure, and they are the teachers of the society. That is the way the Vedic civilization is built. Second class of the people are Kshatriya class, or the fighter class, administrator class, whose job is to, under the guidance of Brahmana, they give protection to the society and the country. Third class is business class, Vaishya. Their task is to make ensure that all the beings in the society get their required objects whenever needed. Plus, they protect the cows and perform agrarian tasks. And the fourth is Shudra, the working class, whose objective is to serve all the three above classes of people and help them in achieving their goals. And while doing that, they receive their salary and remuneration and they live a peaceful life. So these are the four classes of people which runs the society, and they are compared with the human body. Like Brahman are head of that body. Kshatriya are hands of that body. Shudra are legs, and business class is the stomach. So these four classes have to follow four ashram in their house, means first 25 years of their life should live a celibate life where they learn things. Second 25 years they get married if they want to and live a nice family life producing offsprings. And 50 to 75 years they should renounce their family life and husband and wife should learn spiritual subjects by visiting various gurus and teachers. And last 25 years, a husband should leave his wife with his son or other children and should live a life of a mendicant, a sannyasi. But the sannyasa ashram and vanprastha ashram is not recommended for business class or the working class. It is only for Brahmanical class and the Kshatriya class. So this is how the society is made. So sometimes it is necessary for the king to commit some violence, especially at the time of war. But whenever a king gives a capital punishment to any criminal, it is just for his own benefit. Because if a king does not give such punishment, then nature will give him further punishment in next life. So in a way, the king is helping that criminal to get rid of his sin in this very life. Plus, sometimes such violence is necessary because there are many miscreants who will not just understand. So they are put behind bars and then they are given some spiritual and ethical, moral knowledge in the jails. Sometimes we also got the opportunity to meet such people and give them the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So Manu Samhita, the law book of mankind, sometimes supports this death penalty, and it is also a lesson for the other criminal inclined people. But in any way, sometimes people also commit violence against animals and they eat animals, which is not recommended. Of course, one living entity is the food of another living entity. This is how the system is made. But Vedas say that a human being should eat vegetables and not animals. And they should eat, they should commit minimum violence. Not just satisfying their tongue, they should eat the innocent animals. When the Kali Yuga arrives, means there are four yugas. One is Sattva Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar, and Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is a time when people fight over trivial issues. So when Kali Yuga comes, the avarice, hypocrisy, violence, and untruth prevails. So these four qualities prevails a lot in Kali Yuga. So violence also increases. So we can see that there are so many slaughterhouses are opened in all the countries, and especially in India also, which is considered to be a holy land. There are so many slaughterhouses, and people are eating innocent animals just to satisfy their tongue. We can eat animals only when we have nothing else to eat. That's Vedas say, but not for the satisfaction of the tongue. So such dangerous actions will reap dangerous results. Lord Bernard Shaw says that as long as humans are eating animals, there will be wars and battles ongoing. So, of course, violence is needed sometimes, but to a minimum extent, not as a fashion, not as a passion. So, here Arjuna do fight, but he doesn't fight with his own. He fights because Krishna orders. Yudhishthira is fighting because Kunti Devi orders him to fight. So we must understand that sometimes such attacks are necessary for a better protection. It is necessary for a defense. To defend ourselves, sometimes one has to act violently, but that is not the goal. People who are violent, people who are animal eaters, people who are illicit sex doers, people who are fault finders, they can never understand the highest goal of life. They can never be spiritual. So it is very important that we follow the four regulative principles of life, that is, no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit relation, and no gambling. By following these four regulative principles and chanting Hare Krishna mantra every day, we make our life perfectly spiritualized. And that way we become very soon Krishna conscious, and becoming Krishna consciousness means perfect happiness and bliss in the life. So Krishna in today's verse very clearly said that a person who understands this nature of the soul, that soul is indestructible, soul is eternal, and it can never kill anybody, it can never be killed. So understanding this principle will further help us to progress spiritually. So we will stop today and discuss the next verse tomorrow. Hare Krishna.